Have you ever been worried that your awakening has stopped? Well, we're going to dive into whether this is actually possible in this video. Now, to be quite frank with you, it can feel like your awakening experience is stopping, and we can definitely slow the momentum behind the awakening. But before we go into this video, I just want to bring your attention down below to the free breathing practice, the free introduction to Hatha Yoga, and the free Discord or Facebook community. If you're going through this process alone and you want a Sangha or a group of like-minded individuals to talk it through with, then you're more than welcome to sign up for those below. But if you're feeling really lost, confused, and maybe even a little bit, fearful of this process, and you want to come and get the right practices, the systematic approach that really does work and has worked for a whole lineage of yogis, then you're more than welcome to sign up down below for the Freedom Blueprint. It comes with coaching and a whole course with many modules of things that you might be doing inside of yourself that you might want to change, and how that you can change them or at least become aware of them. And you can apply for that down below. That is a paid course. You have to invest in yourself. You have to put your commitment monies up, and also, but the application form is free to do so down below should you wish. Can you ever stop, or can an awakening ever stop? The answer is, in a way, yes. It can certainly lay dormant. And the thing is about this process, it's a once in a lifetime process. And so pay heed to that and don't waste this opportunity if you are beginning to go through a spiritual awakening. Having said that, we are in our essence eternal. Look at nature. It continues to recycle in an ever-expanding universe. What does that mean? It means it's infinite, that thing that we are, that's created us and the world and other worlds. And so in that sense, can you ever really get the job done? The answer is no, because you, like the universe, are always expanding too. However, we can certainly go off-piste, if you like, isn't it? And we recognise this. We can see old habits coming back into our system. And in fact, to call them old habits is a bit insincere, because they are just our habits that are really, and in fact even to call it a habit is insincere, because it's a choice. I am choosing to do this, probably because I have belief systems in my system that make it seem like this is the right choice for my evolution right now, which all of the time, not all of the time is true. However, having said that, sometimes we just have karma to deal with. Karma means action and consequence, right? And so sometimes we have these actions inside of ourselves, perhaps from this life, perhaps we could say from other lives too, that preceded this, if we were looking in a linear perspective. But of course, all is one and all is now. And so it's not quite the way it works, but nonetheless, it's quite a helpful idea, because we're humans and we do live linearly, at least in this physical reality. So, this awakening, whilst if it happens to you, you will never be the same again. That is guaranteed, because once you see a new perspective or see something new inside of yourself, you can't go back from that. There is no moving backwards in life. If we see it in that linear way, it is always moving forwards, and is always ever presently now. With that said though, we can definitely go a bit dormant, can't we, as we overindulge in seeking our pleasures a little bit too much, isn't it? And we notice this inside of ourselves, and it forms a really deep attachment to pleasure. And in this way, this can hold us in a holding pattern for a long time. Because the way that you're going to go with that is you're going to need to exhaust the karma of those actions, which means you're going to keep doing it until you get basically enough energy inside of your system for you to realize this isn't working for you anymore, and it will just naturally drop. Or you're going to get so bloomin' pissed off with yourself that you make the change anyway. The biggest tip and the biggest thing that you will need to do, whether it's with me or any of the other brilliant people that talk about these things, is you're going to have to find some sadhana. Sadhana just means your daily spiritual practice to bring about the highest aliveness of energy in the system. This will then allow the subconscious mind's grip to loosen, and sometimes that can feel a little bit like Pandora's box as all of this crap comes up from deep down, that stuff that we've been repressing for a long time. And so at the start of the awakening, it often feels like it's getting a lot worse before it gets better. But sadhana will help ease you through that. So if you are really struggling, do make sure that you do find somewhere. Of course, we have the Freedom Blueprint down below for those that want to do that with me, but you don't have to do it with me. So, can an awakening process stop? No, but can your belief systems get in the way of that primal urge inside of you from manifesting? And there goes my email. And the answer is yeah. And so we can keep this dormant for a whole lifetime, really, if we like. And then do you really know inside of yourself that you get another life, or is this one it? Well, there's a strange dichotomy and a paradox in that, isn't there? Because on one aspect and one plane of existence, we recognize I am the eternal observer or witness to this life. I am not of it, but I am in it and observing it. And so this one will continue. But this human that I am, this one has one life. And the karma, because it's so sticky, of this one that I am creating in a way, will continue past this life. And so let's say the body drops now. Well, then what actions am I going to take with me in the new birth? Perhaps that happens, it won't be to this one, but it will be observed by the witness that I am, that eternal aspect of myself. That karma will pick up again and we'll have the same struggles. And so it's really worthwhile blasting a load of prana into your system so that we become more aware of what it is that we're doing that makes this awakening slow down or stop inside of me, or halts or strangulates or curbs the energy inside of me that's trying to create more of a fruitful manifestation of this spiritual knowledge in my life and embody it. This is really the only way, from my perspective, that the awakening will stop. It won't. It'll just slow. The momentum will just die out. But of course, everything happens for you, not to you. And so if this is happening, that's good. But allow the experience of it to open us up to the perspective or the idea that this journey takes work. And that if I'm in a holding pattern or I've stalled myself somehow, this might be happening so that I lose the momentum, so that I begin to feel worse and more lost, so that I come to the idea or intuition inside of myself that it's about time that I take this journey seriously. Nothing is lost. But if you want to take this journey seriously, and the feeling is there for you to do that so that you can see really what this life has to offer, so that when you go to your deathbed that you don't regret this choice, then by all means you're in the right place. And by all means find some sadhana. This will make sure that this awakening process does not stall in you. Although sometimes it might feel like it is, it isn't. Every experience has its value, and it's necessary for you because it seems to be that's what you've agreed to come in and play out for yourself. So if it does feel like you're stuck, recognize it's part of the path, and that stuckness really can only be cured through sadhana. I love you lots. Have a great day. Namaste.